Alright, let's add some slashes now. So now that we've taken them out, let's try adding some. So say we have our sentence up above with the, well, I guess it really doesn't matter. Let's just make another statement one. Right, $sign statement, and let's just say this is equal to, in quotes, something like, let's do some outer single quotes, go around our inner quotes and say something like, oh, I don't know, welcome to Atlanta. In quotes. Are you here for the first time? I guess I don't know. I'm just making up stuff. But say I wanted to take that statement and add slashes to it. Well, one of the easiest ways to handle this is to come in here and say $sign statement and say that is equal to add slashes close parentheses. Now this is going to add slashes to anything that's single quote, double quote, or has a backslash in it. So in this case we have double quotes around Atlanta, so it's going to add it to it. It's going to ignore the single quotes on each end because it actually makes up this basically what starts and ends the string. Now if we put double quotes around the whole thing, we put single quotes on the side, the slashes would appear on the single quotes. So hopefully that kind of makes sense what I'm saying. Statement. Alright, and let's just echo this out so we can see the result of it too. Echo $sign statement. Concatenate that in quotes, end it, open br slash close tag, something like that. Boom. Alright, cool. Saved. Alrighty. So with that, after we save it, let's go to another frame here. And restore for this. Alright. You now see welcome to Atlanta, and you see it now has slashes with my quotes there. Right here for the first time. And I should have made that into a question mark, but oh well, you know. There we go. Now it's right, huh? But yeah, so there's an example of adding slashes. So that's one way to add slashes. We can also add C slashes too. So let's do another $sign statement. And you know what? Hold on, changing my mind again. I do this all the time, right? So should be used to it by now, I guess. Let's see here. What do I want to do? Well, all right. All right, so let's take our previous statement here. This way I don't even have to write up another one. Sorry. Trying to decide what I was wanted to do for doing this one. Alright, so I'm just going to say $sign statement. And we're going to add another slash to this one. And we're going to define where we want it. And this would be a C style slash. So we're going to say add C slashes. Let's see here. And I'm going to add this to our $sign statement. Alright, come on like that. And I'm going to do this based on lowercase h. So this way I'm going to put a slash in front of the here one, as far as that goes. And only there. I could choose another location and I get slashes possibly in multiple locations if I wanted to, but you get the idea. In this case, I want to control it just to one. And if I put this to lowercase h there for my criteria, it's the only thing that starts with h, so guess what? I don't think... Oh, there is the h there with the d. Okay, this ought to be fun. Alright. Yeah, so much for planning, right? Okay, boom. So yeah, this is what I was talking about just a second ago. I forgot there's an H there inside of the. So we get slash front of the HER. I would have to actually say HER in order to get to determine that one versus the HD. So the E in there. So if I can't show you that real quick. And now we're getting almost I because we didn't limit it down to a particular one. But yeah, this lets you determine where you want slashes to appear on things. So pretty cool. Pretty neat indeed. And there's a way of adding in C-style slashes and having it put it where you want it to go. Usually though you'll be going for like /n or something like that for a new line character or /tab, /f, etc, etc, etc. Alright, so that's a way of introducing slashes in instead of just stripping them out. Besides that, we got another one that I just never got around to it, and should went over its cousin, if you will, and that was the lower character. So what this will do would be say LC for lowercase, and we're going to say first on here just like we did before with this, and then we're going to lowercase the first letters in say the $sign statement one. Echo $sign statement dot in quotes. I really should just copy and pasted that, but whatever. PR. Alright, and so nothing happened. Why? Because I forgot to say this is equal to statement. $sign statement. Oh man. Come on, type. Type correctly. Alright. There it is. And our W is now lowercased. Yay. Right here. See? So it made it started out lowercase. Yay, got that one done too. Sorry for all the windows popping all over the place. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. So besides that, well, there's some other ones that are kind of cool. And I want to show you this. This is pretty neat. We really haven't talked about it so far, but it's kind of important. And it deals with doing passwords and security. You can actually encrypt stuff, assuming we have the right stuff installed. I think we do, into PHP if on our server. So we should be alright. If you don't, check out my earlier video series where we went over how to install a bunch of stuff for PHP. And we installed a bunch of encryption type PHP modules. This is why we did it, so that we can do what we're getting ready to do now. So say I had a variable called password, and I don't know, let's say it's equal to how about crazy dog house? Yeah, that's like a terrible password, but let's assume that that's a really good one. Alright, so what it can do is I could use SHA1. Now I could echo this straight out, or normally though I would encrypt it and send it back to itself. Just as an example, $pass WD. How about pass encrypt? Alright, and that's going to be equal to SHA1. This is a very good algorithm for encryption. And let's pass in password to that. Now it gets encrypted. And you always want to do this before you put it into a database, because you never want to leave passwords and things like that just sitting out totally unprotected, nothing interesting. And if you want to be smart about this, actually, by the way, if you're doing passwords and things like this, you want to actually use a salt with it. FYI. So you want to say something like just getting into some of this stuff here real quick. Salt equals, alright, so let's say that's my salt. And this is going to get added on to every password. So it's really going to be doghouse dotted with that right there. Alright, so we're going to concatenate those two together. It's going to make one crazier password. So if someone gives me something really stupid like crazy doghouse for a password, then the salt helps encrypt it and make it more, makes it to where it's more difficult to break the password. Alright, so if we have SHA1 like this, now to encrypt our password is now going to be way crazier. So just as an example here, I'm going to just echo out both of these so you can see the result of this. Pass WD, password like that. Dot that with our BR tag. And close that quotes there. Thank you. Boom, there we are. Again, I'm too lazy to type that again. Alright, so I'm going to come in here. I'm going to say pass encrypt, like so. And then I'm going to run this. Eventually. Eventually. And I made a mistake. Awesome. Alright. Let's just do this real quick. Make sure I don't have any mistakes up above it. Nope. I do have some mistakes up above it. Well, you know, Joe. Alright. Alright. Where did I make? Oh, this one here. That would be a big mistake. Yeah. Ugh. A syntax checker. Yay. Alright. So now we end up with this crazy doghouse 243TVBWSGDF. Yeah, that would be fun to break. Alright, so pasting back in this code again. Get rid of the weird dot that appeared because I accidentally threw it in there for some crazy reason. And there we are. There it is, encrypted. So this whole crazy doghouse, blah blah blah, that's salted, gets encrypted this way right here. So that's an example of using SHA1 for encryption. And so you can see this is really cool, actually. This really is important. It lets you encrypt your data in a secure manner. And you know, SHA1 is a really good algorithm to work with. So this one's kind of important. I'm going to try to remember another one here right off the top of my head. I believe there's one's just MD5 if I'm not mistaken. And then we could use that one too. So let's see if my memory is working for me or not. And so, yeah, if you want to be totally maniacal, you just come in here like this. Really make things difficult. First one to break it. Come in here and then do a MD5 on top of the SHA1, and then salt it again with a totally different salt. So, you know, say salt there, say salt 1, salt 2. Like that, and then do another quotes, and then say, alright, and that'll be my second salt that I'm going to introduce into this algorithm. Put 1 there, so I can differentiate the two. And then I'm going to want to combine these again. So, I guess really, I want to say $, pass encrypt like this equals pass $, pass encrypt dotted with my salt2 semicolon. Alright. We're not done with that there. So now we're going to MD5 this back into it afterwards. Alright, and hopefully we have MD5, and hopefully I remember all this correctly. Let's see if I do. I do. There we are. So now we've got a whole nother encryption going. You can mix this up too. Like, I mean, you could sit there and do that, and then come back again, salt it again, and then run it back through yet another encryption. I mean, it's just different things you can do just to really mess with password. People break passwords. I'm not saying it's totally foolproof. I'm just saying that it makes their life a little more difficult, which makes me happy. So, you can just have a little fun with this. I know I do. Salt 3 it. Like so. And one last one here. Oh yeah, let's not forget to kick out our echo statement again. Between these here. We're going to do an SHA1 on this one this time. Alright, cool. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And there's our final one. And then if I store this into the database, and someone starts trying to use a rainbow table or something like that to crack this, their life's about to be a little bit more difficult than they expected. So that's pretty cool. And it should make life a little more difficult for the hacker. Now again, you can put this in any order. You can mix up multiple different encryption types. You could do SSH 512, 256. You could do SHA1 combined with two MD5. Just mix it up, mess it up all different ways. That way you have your process down, and then oh yeah, by the time they try to decrypt that, it's a whole lot of fun for them. So great way to mess with hackers a bit when you're storing things of this nature, to encrypt them. You don't have to just do it in one algorithm. You can actually mix it up in several. So there we go. And that should make security a little tighter. But anyways, besides that, oh yeah, so that's encryption on some stuff there. So it's MD5 and SSA1. Let's see here. What else we got to go over here? Hmm. Alright. Let me see here. Alright, let's go over some more string manipulation stuff. Alright, so as a for instance, let's look at repeating strings. And where would we be without the good old ability to repeat string many, many times? Just kind of gotten into the habit of wanting to use whenever I'm getting into repeating strings, I always like to use the example of, are we there yet? Always a great question to ask, right? Alright, so if I use str here, underscore repeat, if only I could type it, like that, and quotes, are we there yet? Awesome. And it would be complete without, say, maybe making this said 15 times in a row, of course. It's the only logical thing to do, right? So, so we're going to do that there. And let's see what happens when we do this. And we get, are we there yet? 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 You get the idea. So that's a way of making strings repeat using str. Are we there yet? Very, very cool. That one's always fun. But besides that, we can do some other ones too. You can also replace a string too. So how does this work? Well, what would be a fun one to do? I kind of want to play with Snoopy's thing here again. Alright, save it. Let's do... Right. Welcome to Snoopy's doghouse. And, you know, maybe we really didn't mean doghouse for Snoopy. Maybe that's just not cool enough. Because, you know, Snoopy's pretty cool. So, what can we do about that? Well, not all is lost. We can replace it. And we can replace by first finding the string we want to find. In this case, it'd be doghouse. I need to put that in quotes. Otherwise, it's kind of stupid. Doghouse. Like so. And then maybe we want to have dog crib because he's fly like that. So let's see, dog crib. There we are. It's with the times. Oh yeah. All right. $sign statement. And if my cursor just wouldn't randomly jump up there because my arm probably hit the mouse, that's awesome. All right. I'm just gonna say echo here now. Echo $sign statement. Yeah. I think that's all I need. Okay. And if I didn't make any typos, be a short miracle, right? Let's look at what we get for a result. Welcome to Snoopy's doghouse. Not quite what I was wanting. No. No, it didn't. It didn't replace it. Why not? Oh, dang it. Yes, it did. Did it again. Move out of the way, text editor thing. I forgot to send it back to its statement again afterwards. Oh, dude. I totally forgot to do that. Do that all the time. Gosh. Alright. Save. I was like, why didn't it work? I didn't get an error. Yeah, I forgot to assign it back to statement. So of course, you know. There it goes. Welcome to Snoopy's dog crib. Yeah. It's his dog crib. It's not a doghouse anymore. It's a dog crib. Alright. So there's an example of doing a replace on the string. Oh yeah, you know another one would be cool? Is if we shuffle the string a bit. And that's kind of neat too. So let's just take our previous statement here and let's just shuffle it. I need to click in here. There we go. Oh, I'm on a roll. Alright, let's remember to this time assign it back to itself. That's always useful, right? Oh, snap. You know what? I do not want to have the BR statement inside of this. Yeah. Otherwise, it can end up, if it gets shuffled, the break statement be somewhere else in the sentence. Not exactly what we want. Kind of cool, though, but wouldn't be exactly what we want. So let's set it back at the echo point, not somewhere else. But str here underscore, and let's shuffle this. Shuffle. Close parentheses, semicolon. $sign statement. Like so. Yep. Alrighty. And then we need to echo that back out again. Echo $sign statement. Helps if I spell it out all the way correctly. Thank you. Alright. What am I doing? Alright. Semicolon. Alright. HBR slash. Say equals. There's no equals. What am I doing? Alright. Save. Firefox. Pow. There we are. And there it is. It's shuffled. Very much so. Yeah. Awesome. We shuffled that word pretty good. There's not much left. So there's an example of string shuffle. Might be good for generating random passwords that you issue to people, or those random words for CAPTCHA or something. Oh gosh. Anyways, there's string shuffle. Always fun. Rarely useful. Oh goodness gracious. Let's see here. Oh, there's one I in particular I want to cover, and hopefully, oh man, I think it's just strlen for length, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, let's try that real quick. Alright, so say I wanted to get the length of a sentence maybe before we shuffle it. Alright. Oh goodness. Alright, so str count maybe for the length of the string, right? And I want that to be equal to strlen. So you kind of get the idea why this is important. Here, this is useful for some other things where you want to specify the length of it. You want to know the actual length of the string. Here's how you find the length of the string. So I say like $sign statement, like that, and then I also need to echo this out because otherwise you won't be seeing it. Go $sign str count dot and break it out in quotes, semicolon. Close that off again. Save. Alright. Back to Firefox. Bam. And we get 29 characters inside of Welcome to Snoopy's Dog Crib. That's how many letters and spaces and apostrophes and all that stuff is in there, including the period too. So that's 29 characters long. Or, as shuffled, it'd still be 29 characters long. Same thing. It's just uglier. So, there you go. There's an example of str. Now that we went over that one, let's look at how to split strings. And the length is optional. Now you can actually set the length parameter here if you like. Shuffles, I'm just going to keep pushing it down. It's just too crazy to, whatever. Alright, I'm just going to display this directly. So, yeah. Underscore split it up on $sign statement. Aw, man. $sign statement. Alright. Cool. And it helps even more if maybe I don't do. Alright, let's try to print R with it. Maybe that'll make things go a little nicer. Put parentheses around that. Whatever. I don't want to fight it. And so this will display the fact that, there you go. And that displays the fact that this is all separated bit by bit like that. We kind of just section this off with an echo here. Put it in rate tags. So yeah, that splits up a word into all its letters. And each letter goes into each array element. So you can see that with the print _r. Helps you see this being split up as an array and displaying it. And displaying the array of elements here. So you got 0 to 28 because there's that many characters in here, and it literally put them all into different array elements, which is pretty freaking cool. At least I think it is. Alright. Including spaces. You can see an example of space here at 7. Which is space. That's the space there. So, there you go. Pretty cool. Let's save. Why did I echo BR? I should want to echo P. Go P instead. Would be nice. That way, it's, kind of separates it a little bit more from the shuffle, which is all the craziness there. There we go. A little bit more separation there. That's nice. Alrighty. So there's an example of the split, string split, as far as that goes. And it just takes a word and splits all its letters up into different array elements. Let's see here. You can also get word count, which is kind of cool. So let me show you that one. I'm just going to echo this one straight up too. Okay. So let's just say echo, let's say str underscore word underscore count here. Open close parentheses semicolon. And we're just going to put in there our $sign statement. Again, like so. And let's couple that with a BR tag again. So BR slash, like that. Save, bam. Alright. Come back over here to Firefox. And, oh no, what did I do? What? No. Uh-oh. I think I might crash my server. Hold on a second. Oh, man. Alright. Shouldn't have been a problem, but maybe it was. Apache 2. Already running. Let's do a restart on that real quick. Alright. Somehow I ended up with Nate.net. Really not sure how that happened. Okay, that was weird, but whatever. There's our word count of 4. Sorry. I digress. Wow, that was a little bit off misdirection there, but whatever. You get the idea. Alright. So we can compare two strings and be case insensitive. Let's look at different comparisons, string comparison stuff now. Alright, so we saw our password up above back up here. So I'm going to go back up to this example before we start encrypting a bunch of stuff. and salting it. What if I wanted to do, say, yeah, how about prior to the salting? Prior to the saltiness. Alright, so let's just do that real quick, and then we'll take one of these salts out, which will be this one right here. Boom. Alright, and then we can just say password, $ password dotted with salt. Yay. Okay, cool. Now everyone's happy. Alright, so, but, what if we had $, let's say typed password, and then let's say they, or inputted password be the one too, right? So let's say that someone went in here and they said crazy dog house, like that for the password. What if you want to string compare these two? Well, there is something about this as far as making it easier to do. If we do echo here, I'm just going to show you the result of this basically. I do an str case cmp here for compare the two with case insensitivity. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, case insensitivity. Password. $, typed password. Yes. Alrighty. And that lets us echo out that result. We should be able to see something a little more interesting. Okay. Yep, we got a result, 0. So I totally should have put a dot after this to really separate this out. Sorry, I forgot to do that. Would be a good idea if I did that. Alright, let's go back up here and try that again a little bit. Enter. And there we are, 0. Alright. Let us do a string comparison case sensitivity test. Notice I get the same thing, 0 there. So very cool. It's case insensitive. So either way, it will work. So might be going, well, that's nice, but what if? Well, what if we pasted this bit of code right here back up here, and they are totally mismatched now because of the salt. Now what will happen? Get back, and I don't get a match. So I got 11 instead. So the out flat didn't match at all. Probably had like 11 characters that didn't match, whereas we had 0 characters that didn't match before. So this is pretty cool. And this can be a way in which you can test to see if two strings match or not. If you get 0, you're good to go. If you don't get 0, then it's not a good thing. Because if it's less than 0, then this one of the strings has okay, so the first string, which in this case would be password, right, would have fewer characters than the second string. But in our case, it was the other way around, right? It was greater than 0. So that was because string 1, which would be password here, has more characters in it than typed password, which is the case because we have the salt as part of our password here. So that's an example of that. So when the two match, we got a 0. So there you are with that. And that is one of that's a case insensitivity string matching scenario, however you want to say it. Alrighty. Let's see here. What else do I want to do here? Well, we could find an occurrence of one string inside of another. It's always fun. So, as a for instance, we can come back down here to Snoopy's doghouse here. And maybe we find the first occurrence of doghouse inside of this. That'd be fun. So I'm just going to echo that out. Echo, str, chr, like that. And this is just lets us compare, well not compare, but lets us find a string within a string. Or a first occurrence of a string inside of a string to be a little more accurate. And this is character sensitive and all that stuff. Alright, so let's just do $sign statement. Like so, and then I want to hunt inside of this thing. I want to look for doghouse. No, really, doghouse. Thank you. And then I want to concatenate that with good old BR tags. All right. And lost where I'm at. Where are we there yet? That's the one above. Alright, so this is the one here. So we should be getting a result from it right here. Did I not do something? That's split, that's replace, this is the echo out. Should be right. Oh, there it is, doghouse. I found the first occurrence of it. Sorry. Thought for a second there I didn't find it. I did find it. It's there. There it is, right there. Oh, that messed with me. Okay, there it is. I'm getting too much stuff on the screen at this point. Covering too much material. There's a lot of material inside strings. Okay, cool. Alrighty. We can compare two strings too, see if they match. This would be without case sensitivity. Well, I mean that would be case sensitive. That the two have to match exactly. So it's a good example of doing type password with password and having the two match precisely. So, as a for instance, let's take our salt back down again. And the difference between this here, string str and just str case CMP versus str CMP. There's a difference between the two. Here it is. So we get 0 and 32. It's saying that is the total difference between the two strings. Well, what happens if we change this to where we don't have a case and sensitivity match, right? in order to get this one to work out, this is one of those scenarios. Okay, I tell you what. You know what? No, I want to do this a little differently. I want to show you a good example of why you would use certain functions. Okay. All right. Okay. str2 lower. Ah, man. You know. Dang it. Alright. There we go. See how we get a perfect match with it now. This is a really cool idea. Sometimes you can take someone's stuff they type in, like maybe their usernames won't match unless they're lowercase or whatever. So if you have a case and sensitivity match and you want to make sure that things match and you need to be case insensitive versus case sensitive, you could just do lower and lower everything to lowercase or upper to everything up to uppercase. It's a possibility. See how I did that and now it made it match. Because people will sometimes forget that. You could also do a case and sensitivity matching too, with the str case CMP. But yeah, that's the difference between the two. str CMP will do case sensitivity, and str case CMP will do case insensitivity, meaning that you can have it uppercase or lowercase and it still matches. So there's an example of that. All right. All right. Another one is CRCOLL. Is another type of comparison where we compare two strings. It's case sensitive, but not in the way of being, well, binary safe, but not binary safe as far as that goes. So, if we have a look at this, we can compare two strings again with it. Alright, so let's just drop down here a little bit more. strcoll, like this, and close parentheses as far as that goes. Password, comma, typed password. And since this one is case sensitive, I made sure I put it on the bottom one and not from above after we did the two lower part to it. Otherwise it won't match. So alrighty. And we got a perfect match again. So there's another way to compare strings. That one also. Alright. Let's see here. Oh, what's another one to cover? There's so many of these. Oh my gosh, there's so many of these. Let's see here. Which one do I want to cover next, really? Because I may not cover everything there is, because I have a life. Believe it or not. Alright. So we can do a first occurrence of a string, and then make it case insensitive. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of like str, but we put an I in it in order to make it case insensitive. I don't think I covered str yet. Oh well, I'll show it to you in a bit. We did one close to it though. We did this one, and this is very much like an str right here. So let's do an stri. So in this case, I can come in here and say, for instance, dog house, like this, and I can get away with it for first match comparison. Because I can come in here and say str like that. And that will let me get away with that one. And it'll still match it. Alright. And it found it right there. Doghouse 1, and then that was an example of doing case insensitive. Now, if you were to compare this to, say, another one, where we're doing case sensitivity, we have a different scenario. str. And it didn't work. Why didn't it work? Because the dog and house were capitalized. However, if I come in here for str, change that to dog house lowercase, because this is case sensitive, in order to make the match. And you can see now we have doghouse appear here for a third time. And that's because str is case sensitive and str is case insensitive. So we can get away with changing capitalization or whatever and still match. We can't get away with it with str. So use whichever one you want in order to make sure that it matches, because they are different between the two of them, and it does matter. Alright, we can also do a sensitivity based on comparison of two strings. You can also use a length with it if you like, and you can make it binary safe and case sensitive. Alright, so if I want to do a string comparison between the two, let's go back up to our password again. Alright, and let's do strc in CMP. Alright, so it works a lot like this one right here. So drop it in right there, put an N in there, and it should be good to go. Since it is already been lowercase, this should work fine. And there we go. It matched. Yet again. So there's an example of it, though. We could also add a third option at the end where we do matching only on part of it based on a position in the string. So meaning that maybe we only have to match the first part of it of our password. So say if I wanted to match just the first part, which is crazy, CV1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that'd be it's up here, or we can match the first 5 characters only. Let's see if they match. If they do, we still get a 0. And we get our 0 now. I'm sorry, we didn't get 0 before because we didn't give it the length at which we wanted to match characters for. So there we go. We matched the first 5 letters. We got a match on those first 5 letters, and it was so we get our 0 now. So yeah, I'm sorry. Length is required. Thought it was optional. It's not optional. It's required. So you have to pass in an option with it in order to make it for how many characters you want to match exactly. So string compare based on a numerical amount of characters to match. If I wanted to let's see here. Let's see here. This is another good one to do. Alright, how about we get string position? Alright. Go back down to our sentence again. Alright. This one's going to be str pose for position. Alright, we got our statement. And then we want to do find a particular string and where we want to start looking for it. So let's say comma here. It's going to say 2 and therefore it. And let's know if I got back to position on that one or not. I'm getting too many of these now at this point. Oh gosh. Let's see here. That'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think we did get back. It came back as 0, which is kind of odd. Wait, no. There's too many of these. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I got 5. Ugh. I must be overlooking something. Oh yeah, string count here. That's one of them. That makes 5 there. And word count's another one. That comes after the splitting. So now we got 5. It's 0. It came back 0. I don't know why it came back 0 for position. But okay, there we go. It's find string position. I was kind of expecting a different number there, honestly, for that. But anyways, that's how you can do a string position. It's getting a little bit to the point where it's hard to manage this. We got so many of these now. So I might just be cutting the video short here on this because it's kind of getting a bit ridiculous. I'm getting lost in my own code at this point. So let's reverse a string real quick. Yeah, we'll do that one before I forget. Alright. If I want to reverse a string, I can say str rev for reverse. And then I'm just going to come in here, remove this stuff like this. And we are. This will be nice because it won't be another number and mix the other numbers here. Alrighty. Or at least there shouldn't be. It's down here. How's that we're looking at? There's high there in reverse. Yeah, I think I need a break. All right. I'm totally getting lost in my own code. All right, Firefox here. Welcome to Snoopy's Doghouse. Yeah, see, with that reverse, it was like really hard to read it. Gotcha. Okay, so it's not being jumbled or anything. That's just in reverse. So that's why I didn't notice it before. Okay, gotcha. Um, trying to decide which other ones I want to cover. Because there's just a bunch of these are kind of a lot like each other, so it just kind of gets to the point of maybe I'll do a substring. Alright, something simple. Alright, let's grab a substring on this thing here. Alright, so do a substring, say sub str, like this, up and close parentheses, semicolon, like that. Let's say $, statement, like that, string we're going to work with here. And then in this case, I'm going to grab a particular part of the string only. So let's start counting then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So say I want to be 20 characters in, like that. I can get a substring, as it's called, or a partial string. It's where you take a string from a string. And I got it right here. Doghouse, period. I can prove to you that's exactly what I got. Let's just leave Snoopy this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So let's go 11 characters in this time. Save. Like so. Alright. Fresh it, we get Snoopy's Doghouse this time. So that's a substring. So we remove the welcome to blah blah blah. So you get the idea. You can use some mathematics basically, or some numbers, in order to extract one string from another. And it's called substrings, and it lets you pull a string out of another string. You can even do substring comparisons, which I almost don't even want to go over this. But let's do it anyways. Alright. Alright. So it kind of works like before. But let's say I wanted to do substring compare on this. So sub str underscore compare. It should just be CMP. Stay like standard with something on this, but no. Anyways, $sign statement, comma, the next string. Now the next string, if I want this to match exactly, would have to be something like doghouse. That one right there. Comma, and just do 20 again. Alright. trick's going to be finding this page now after we run this. 0. There it is. It worked fine. So our comparison worked great. Cool. So just go back up here and we'll rerun this quickly here. And there's our 0 for our comparison match of our substring. Alright. Substring count. Maybe I want to find out position of a word within a substring. You're probably thinking that already. Yeah, it's useful. So, as a for instance, I could come in here and instead of doing substring compare, I could get the position of something in it. Sub str and just do a count now. And statement like so, and then instead here, let's just do a doghouse on that. Okay. Oh man, you know what? I forgot to put a break statement again. Getting good at doing that. Yep, there it is. The one right there. And it found doghouse one time inside of that string. So if you want to find out if a string is contained within a set of strings or within another string, then that's really useful to use substring count, where it finds how many times that string appeared in the other string. Alrighty. Sorry, not the position of the string in there. That'd be POS instead. But how many times a string appeared inside another? That'd be the count. Alright. That is substring count. Substring replace. Yep, we can replace a string within a string. It's kind of already did something like this here with our crib here, str replace, but you could also do it with a substring replace. It does the same thing, but based on a number value, only it's harder to use. So, I mean, you know. How bad do I want to go over this? I guess that's the question, really. And then I can just say something like, I'm being lazy now. 0 started the string. I don't care. So, and there you go, you get hello. So, worked fine. Now we get hi, hello, because I said 3. So I decided to stop being lazy there and show it for real. Alright. With that, I am all stringed out. There's few more commands out there. Honest to God, most of the commands stuff I went over is stuff you could do with other commands I've already shown. If you want to look into it more, you just look around on some of the sites out there and find some more in-depth stuff on this. But honest to God, I covered just about everything there is in strings. Pretty close to it. Not quite, but daggone near it. And there's really not much else to cover as far as that goes. So next we'll start going into more interesting stuff with some database programming. So that would be neat, and it's a lot more exciting than just manipulating strings all day. Strings are really cool when you're manipulating them, when it's like you're manipulating them into something you need to make it turn into. Then it really matters, and then it's really important. But just to do it for the fun of it is, in my mind, not a whole lot of fun. Unless you're doing something like ad-libs or something like that, or mad-libs, whatever it's called. Yeah, back in the day. Anyways, my name is Nate Nestler, and this is for Hyperactive Studios. Thank you very much.